Illustration of a Caucasian man with brown hair and glasses. Ron Rogers at Ron B. Rogers, Ron_Rogers at OCALI.org. OCALI logo, white letters in gray circles, an apple icon appears at the end. Universal Design for Learning Center. Universal Design for Learning 101.
Well, first of all, welcome to our webinar from OCALI, and I'm your host, Ron Rogers. This webinar is only 30 minutes long. However, we like to say 60 minutes of learning in 30 minutes. And again, we are so happy to have everyone here. It looks like we've got people from basically all over the world. Again, Pamela's from Chile. We've got some others from other different parts of the country. And this is going to be great. We have a lot of Ohio people. We have some SST members, especially those from our Ohio Universal Design for Learning Collaborative. So this is going to be a great webinar. Let's go ahead and get moving. Hopefully everybody can see the screen and everybody should be able to hear my voice. And I'm keeping an eye on questions. So here we go. Okay, our goals. Just in case someone's listening from the car, which is something that we have happen quite a bit, I am going to read the goals and the I can statements for those that are in their cars so they're not trying to look at the screen. So our goal today is to demonstrate the origins of universal design for learning, show the neuroscience of learning, convey the benefits of this instructional framework, and make learning engaging and fun. And when you're done, you should be able to say, I can understand how universal design for learning can improve access to the curriculum for all students. One of the items that has been put as a handout, which you can find again below on your GoToMeeting control panel, is as a resource that you can use with students or adults. This digital file is yours to keep. It's attached and can be downloaded as a Word file or a PDF. It's located in that lower portion of your GoToMeeting console. And always remember, you can feel free to email me with any questions or concerns or anything else that you need once this is over. So don't ever feel like you're left out there without any means to get something. You're always supported here at OCALI. Okay, for those who want to have a conversation in the background, if you're a person that likes to tweet, as you learn, feel free to tweet using hashtag UDLPLN, and that will give you all the chance to have that back channel conversation. And more than likely, I won't be able to respond until after I'm off the webinar. I haven't figured out how to quite handle the tweets and all the webinar stuff too. But if I ever can, I will try to do that sometime. But I will jump on and go through some things on Twitter after I'm finished with the webinar. But I'd love to have all of you have that background conversation. That would be ideal.
Go to webinar chat window.
Okay, there's a question area which you are free to use at any time. Please place your comments or questions or feel free to reply in that box because I'll be asking questions and things throughout. This is an interactive webinar. It does go pretty quick. So just for practice in the question box, if you would, put this in there. What specifically do you intend to learn on this webinar? And just place your answer in the question box and hit it. Now try to remember that you won't see the replies, but I will, but I'll be glad to read some of them without names attached. Okay, so far, some of them that are coming in, UDL and assessments. Well, this is UDL 101, so unfortunately, we're not going to be able to hit assessments in this one. However, we will make note of the assessment part, and we can always do a 30-minute webinar on that sometime. Here's a good one. What is UDL? That's definitely in our goals. More about UDL and the use. How to help teachers in their classrooms in general and leading into RTI from a school psych. Tips for helping new teams, implementation of UDL, how to use UDL in my job as a speech-language pathologist. What does UDL look like in practice? I'd like to obtain new ideas about how to introduce UDL to first-time users. Well, these are all great thoughts and suggestions and ideas. And the ones that we don't hit today, remember we have, and you can download it, it's in your download list of all the UDL webinars that are going to come out this year. So stay tuned. We're also going to gather other states' webinars and add them to the list after the end of September. So That said, let's move on. Okay, now with all the preliminaries out of the way, we can truly talk UDL. Let's get some formative feedback real quick. I'm going to do a poll, and I would really appreciate it if you answer the poll. So here goes the first one. I am going to launch it. Why did you attend this webinar? And I will close the poll here in a few seconds, and everybody can look at it. We're at 41% voted. We need everybody to participate as quickly as possible. Looks like so far 50% wanted to learn about UDL, which is what this is really about. Okay, everybody's still voting. We're at 80%. I'm going to close the poll in 3, 2, 1. Now, please remember, just because some people didn't vote isn't because they're asleep or anything. It's probably because they're in their car, okay, and they're probably driving and they don't have access to do that. And we certainly don't want them to while they're at the wheel. So there's our results. 50% I wanted to learn about universal design for learning. About 23% universal design for learning is our district focus. 15% I'm an expert learner and wanted to have more knowledge, and 12% I wanted to learn more so I can assist my students. 0% said I didn't have anything else to do, so that's good. These are excellent. Let's do one more quick poll. How many of you are sitting together right now? 0, it's just you, or 2 to 4 people, or 5 to 7, 8 to 10, or over 11. We really do suggest if you can sit with a team, it really makes discussion worthy. And if you can have somebody facilitate the discussion for a half hour afterwards, it's really nice, to share the documents, look them over, see what you're going to do, and see how you're going to implement them. It looks like everybody has voted. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to close the poll. And it looks like 18% or more are 2 to 4 people. And we've got a lot of people on, almost 100 people today watching this. Usually we're up around the hundreds, usually below 500 people. This is a UDL intro, so we figured there would be less people attending, but still, it's great to have everybody on board for this. Okay, I'm going to share the results. I'm going to hide the results, and we're going to move on. Let's talk UDL. Okay, one of the items that I haven't had on the introductions lately for a while would be this graphic here. And this is a great visual. It shows the big picture perspective. What does this mean to you? Please put your ideas into the question box, if you would. What does this graphic mean to you? And I'm going to read the graphic because I really love the graphic. We've got a little guy in a wheelchair that says, "Could you please shovel the ramp?" We've got the custodian shoveling the steps, and he says, "All these other kids are waiting to use the stairs. When I get through shoveling them off, then I will clear the ramp for you." And then the little guy in the wheelchair says, "But if you shovel the ramp, we can all get in." And basically, it says right here, clearing the path for people with special needs clears the path for everyone. Let's see what all your comments are saying right now. Some of the comments, what's necessary for some is good for all. That is excellent. Excellent, Ann. Andrea says teaching to the margins can help all. I love it. Kathy, shovel the ramp equals necessary for some, good for all. Build on ramps to learning, not stairs. Make learning accessible to everyone. Nice, Linda. And it allowing all to meet their specific needs. And your comments are just flying in. Everyone has special needs in different areas of learning. Well, you guys are hitting it right on the exact spot. So we're gonna move on, and I want to share this one with you. As you read that, I'm going to kind of paraphrase what Katie Novak says.
Universal Design for Learning. Simply put, Universal Design for Learning, UDL, is the practice of embedding flexible strategies into curriculum during the planning process so that all students can access a variety of learning opportunities.
Katie Novak says the big picture is that Universal design for learning is thoroughly knowing the concept you're going to teach and presenting that concept in different ways while engaging the students and encouraging them to express their knowledge in different ways. And some of you may know Katie and some of you may not, but Katie does have her own website. And if you get a chance sometime, you can Google Katie Novak, and she does blogs and everything on UDL. And she really does have a lot of interesting information out there that you may want to check out. And another place is OCALI.org. You don't want to forget that under the UDL Center. So as we think about this, here is the Universal Design for Learning Principles. And as you can see there, this, in case you're not real familiar with UDL, this is the older ones. The original ones that came out had the principle of representation first on the left at the top, action and expression in the middle, and engagement on the right. And in just a few minutes, we'll be looking at the other one, which puts engagement first. And the one that has engagement first, it's because David Rose found out through the research that that was really the most important principle, was engagement. And as you look at this older one, you'll see the arrows just left of each principle too. And that shows how you're working towards resourceful and knowledgeable learners under representation, and how you're working towards, under action and expression, you're working towards strategic goal-directed learners. And under engagement, you're working towards purposeful, motivated learners. This one has the arrows and things. The next one, when we get to it, will be flipped. And we'll go ahead and look at that right now.
Engagement. Simple illustration of the human brain with portions of the temporal and parietal lobes highlighted in green. Representation. Simple illustration of the human brain with portions of the temporal and frontal lobes highlighted in purple. Action and expression. Simple illustration of the human brain with portions of the parietal and occipital lobes highlighted in blue.
And as you see, engagement is first, and then representation and action and expression. And you'll also notice what was on the bottom is now at the top, and what's at the top is now at the bottom. So this is the newer graphic. And remember, learning's distributed along those neural networks, recognition, strategic, and effective. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. And it's really learning about the brain, how it functions, provided these guidelines for determining the kinds of teaching and learning alternatives that are most useful for students in educational situations. And again, that's all students. So here is UDL at a glance, and I did send this out to everybody earlier on. Okay, just to kind of review, now we're just going to look at a few photos here, and we see representation principle as providing information in different formats, action and expression as alternatives for demonstrating knowledge, and engagement for tapping into interests. And we know now that engagement is the most important and should probably be done right from the beginning.
Representation. Illustration of a woman pointing to a line graph displayed on a large screen.
Representation, as we all know and believe, refers to how you design and deliver information to your class. You know, lecture alone's not going to cut it. It's just not going to work for us these days.
Action and expression. Illustration of a young man sitting with his legs crossed. A laptop is in his lap.
The next one is action and expression, which refers to providing students alternatives for demonstrating what they've learned.
Illustration of a young woman carrying books in her right arm.
And then engagement refers to learner interests. Challenge them according to those interests and motivate them to succeed is very important. You put all those together and we have representation, expression, and engagement. Basically, representation, content in different ways, expression, content, knowledge in different ways, and engagement, interests in different ways. Because we know that some learn best by using technology, some by seeing, some by hearing, some by doing, and a lot of other ways too.
3 illustrations of the human brain viewed from the top-down perspective. Photo of Dr. David Rose. He is an older Caucasian man with gray hair and beard.
Student variability. Right here we see David Rose, and he says, in any learning opportunity, many different regions of the brain may be involved. For example, the recognition networks we look as the what of learning. And that is how we gather facts, categorize what we see, hear, and read, identifying letters, words, our recognition of task. The strategic networks, the how of learning, planning and performing tasks, how we organize and express ideas, writing an essay or solving a math problem are strategic tasks. The affective network, the why of learning, how learners get engaged and stay motivated, how they are challenged, excited, or interested. These are affective dimensions. I hear schools every day talking about, how can we engage our learners? What do we do to do that? And the UDL framework is very clear on that.
Black and white photo of a man teaching a child how to ride a bike.
So when you're thinking about universal design for learning, and if you are new to the whole idea and concept of it, what you really want to think about is think back to when you taught your child, if you have a child of your own, how to ride a bicycle. Okay, I'm sure everybody that's done it remembers it. It takes just the right amount of support or scaffolds. How you hold on first to the child and the bike, and then maybe just the bike, and then at some point you take off the training wheels, and you're behind your child, and before you know it, you're letting go. And yeah, they may make it a few feet and then fall over, or go a few feet and you catch them. But that doesn't happen very many times before eventually you let go of all the supports and the scaffolds, and all of a sudden they're riding a bicycle beautifully. But that's how universal design for learning is. It's just the right amount of supports at the right time, and it's all done in pre-planning, okay? So UDL focuses on, again, removing the barriers to learning, providing supports when needed, and engaging all students in successful learning. And probably the most important one out of those 3 that I just said is engaging all students in successful learning. If they're not engaged, they're not going to learn, is what the research is telling us. So as we think about universal design for learning, research suggests that the following shared beliefs are needed in UDL environment. And the following are those beliefs. And I'm going to read them in case somebody's driving and they can't look at this. And these are very important. Maintain high expectations for all learners and instruction. Clarifies the meaning to meet these high expectations. Engages all learners to maximize each learner's potential. Purposefully provides multiple ways of representing information to meet the needs of all learners. Uses learner-centered proactive instructional design that includes both learning strategies and tools, and designs instruction that connects and supports the critical understanding of the big ideas. Those are very important. I want to do one more poll just to make sure everybody's awake back there, because we're getting towards the end. Here we go. How many times have you joined one of our webinars? 1 to 3, 0, 4 to 6, 7 to 10, or over 11. It's always fun to kind of gauge this just to find out where everybody's at, and to make sure everybody's awake out there as we're going into the home stretch, because the next stuff that's coming, I don't want you to miss anything. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, I'm going to close the poll. I'm going to share the results, and there we go. Look at these. This is great. 4% over 11 of our webinars, 8% 7 to 10, 19% 4 to 6, 46% from 1 to 3, and 23% are new. So that's great. And we hope those of you that are new come back again and see our webinars, because it's really what you've asked for in the past is what we do. Okay, traditional approach versus the UDL approach. The traditional approach assumes that student diversity is a problem and that the barriers to learning are inherent in the capabilities of the learners, where the UDL approach assumes that student diversity is in the room and that the barriers to learning arises in the learner's interaction with the one-size-fits-all curriculum. The traditional approach says and assumes that the curricula is fixed, accommodations and modifications retrofit must be made in order to deal with student diversity, where UDL assumes that the inflexible curricula is disabled and curricula needs to be designed and redesigned to meet the needs of diverse learners from the start. So right there, it's that curriculum that is sometimes the problem that we have to watch out for. So with that said, we are really coming to an end here. So please, our next webinar is October 11th at from 3:30 to 4. And we would love to have all of you come, tell your friends, spread the word. As I send out emails and stuff, please advertise for us. We would love to have, of course, more people. And one of the things you can do 24/7, we have hashtag UDL Chat. And you can use that hashtag anytime. Stick the hashtag UDL Chat whenever you're talking about UDL. And if you have questions, you can always put them on there, and someone from somewhere, some UDL ninja, whether it's from CAST or UDL IRN or OCALI, someone will be on there to get back with you. And we do have the UDL chat, though, if you want to get on with all of us, from 9 p.m. Eastern Time every first and third Wednesday. And it is a blast. It is absolutely a blast and a lot of fun. So we welcome anybody that would like to join. Even if you're new to Twitter, it's still fun.
Illustration of a Caucasian man with brown hair and glasses. Ron Rogers at Ron B. Rogers, Ron_Rogers at OCALI.org. Center of the page. Thank you. OCALI logo, white letters in gray circles, an apple icon appears at the end. Universal Design for Learning Center. Universal Design for Learning 101.
And a big thank you to all of you. We hope that you've gained some new knowledge on UDL and that you can reflect upon and start to use it in your classroom. We know your time's precious and we want to make every minute worth your time, and be sure to download the handouts and please do the evaluation, which is very short at the end of this. As you log off, it'll come up. It's only a few questions and it really helps us decide and guides us on what to do for webinars. And again, here in Ohio, I'd like to again thank the state support teams here, and I'd like to thank those members of the Ohio UDL Collaborative that joined us today with everyone else. And we're all trying to build that system of support, and everyone's needed and everyone's loved. So please go out there, help kids, use the UDL framework. If you have any questions, feel free to email or tweet. That ends it for today. It is 3:30. And I hope you all have a good evening, and goodbye.